while these guys are doing their thing. So give them a big hand. This is Bernard McLean. And like I said, really looking smart as well. It's good. Good to see you make the effort there. It's good. So, could you just let us know, where you're from, what you do, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I thought I would. Yeah, maybe I'll just go with that. Okay. Sure. You're welcome to stay if you want to. Yep. Thanks so much. I'm really grateful to be here. This is a really cool event. My name's Bernard McLean. I'm an actor from Vernon, and I'm going to share a story with you this evening, a story that I wrote. And before I do that, I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about the process of writing this story, because it's kind of an interesting one, and it speaks to how art can build community. I'm from Vernon and come from a really loving family there, and I'm really close to my two brothers, but my idiot brothers moved away to Calgary and New Brunswick. So although we love each other very much, we're just really bad at keeping in touch with each other. And so we tried to brainstorm some ideas of how we could keep in touch better. And one of the things that we came up with was, each week we would email each other a word. And then all three of us would have to take those 3 words and we'd have to work them into some piece of creative writing. And anyways, so this story that I'm going to share with you is actually born of one of those. I went on to, try and work on it afterwards and polish it up. I don't actually, unfortunately, remember all of the words. I know that one of the words was caterwaul, and it's still in there. But unfortunately, I can't remember what the other 2 words were. It's a lighthearted story. I've been practicing it. I clocked it at 9 minutes. But if you laugh at any point or anything, I'm blaming it on you if I go over. So, anyways, it's called Friggin' Fergus Frog.
You!
A few frog friends were frolicking one fine and frosty Friday, while Fergus Frog sat lost in thought, his head half tilted sideways. This often was the case when something captured Ferg's attention. In fact, it happened frequenter than Ferg preferred to mention, that he for hours would fixate on some finding on the ground, while all the other frogs were flipping foolishly around, till roused from reverie by all their rowdy, reckless shouts, Fergus Frog would bellow, "Fellow froggies, check this out!" And then painstakingly he would explain some weird hypothesis until brains-achingly some frog would state, "We've heard enough of this." The frog who'd usually interrupt was an 8-gram thug named Franklin, the kind who'd clock your cloaca and after make you thank it. He rarely followed fractions of Ferg's lectures, never fully, which pretty much made Fergus Franklin's favorite frog to bully. Now, the aforementioned Friday was no exception to the formula. When Fergus beckoned them to see some specimen abnormula, all the frogs upon the pond paused mid-recreation, mostly just to witness Franklin's errant irritation. "Hold up, Fergus," Franklin groaned. "Will this be cool and dangerous, or just another boring thing you're wanting to explain to us?" "The former, Franklin," Ferg replied. "It's pretty freaking awesome. Like finding extra fly legs in your teeth after you floss them." Franklin coughed, dislodged some phlegm, then hacked it up and swallowed, then grudgingly joined Fergus where he sat. The others followed. "This'll be a snore-a-thon," said Franklin, neath his breath. Then his sister said the exact same thing. Her name was Flizabeth. Now, Fliz, unlike her brother Frank, did not judge frogs unfairly. In truth, she had repeated what Frank said involuntarily. She normally would not imply that Ferg was prone to failure. She simply had the condition known as verbal echolalia. And Ferg, aware of Elizabeth's particular affliction, wasn't really fussed about her parroted prediction. In fact, he felt euphoric she should talk at all to him, for Fergie felt that Flizzy was one foxy Fibian. With Fliz attending, Fergus felt a sense of heightened pressure. So he opened with some fancy words he figured might impress her. Dear comrades of the taxonomic family of Ranity. At this point, Frank faux vomited and muttered some profanity. This is something really big. This is something major. Something that will challenge what you think you know of nature. Amphibia in toto. Prepare to be amazed. By this great claim, the other frogs were utterly unfazed. Then Fergus paused, surprised that they were gazing still toward him, and did not recognize their jaws were slacked in total boredom. So, misinterpreting their silent stares, he carried on. A wonder of the world occurs beside our very pond. It sprouted since last night, and even though it's mid-October, it grew quite tall and healthy, till it somehow got knocked over. Feast your eyes upon this very rarest sight to see. Behold, as I present to you, the squarely sided tree. As you can see, this fallen tree is nowhere near the norm. The thickness of its trunk is absolutely uniform, until it tapers to a point where we'd expect a root. But get a load of what this baby's got instead of fruit. There, suspended out above the pond beyond the ledge, this toppled tree has bloomed a perfect square of foliage. Unless, of course, that thing is some newfangled form of fungus. Then someone scoffed, "Hey, nerd, this waste of time is just humongous." Franklin was the speaker. He was in the foulest mood. "This friggin' Fergus frog's a fraud. I'm finished with this dude. I ain't got time to squander on this brainy, boring frog. I'm heading across the pond to pull some gainers off the log."